Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about something deeply important, something each of us has at the core of our experience, whether we acknowledge it or not: time. And here's the truth: time, the hours, the days, the years, they slip by faster than we often realize. So today I want to urge you to stop wasting your life. Recognizing the value of time is one of the most powerful realizations we can have in our lives. Many of us go through our days without fully appreciating just how precious each moment is. Time is, perhaps, the most finite resource we possess. Money can be earned back, possessions can be replaced, but time, once it's gone, is gone forever. Every passing second represents a fragment of our existence that we can never retrieve. And yet we often live as though we have an endless supply of it, postponing our dreams, putting off what truly matters, and losing ourselves in distractions. This is why it's essential to deeply understand and respect the value of time. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. We're constantly bombarded by notifications, social media, endless entertainment options, and the urge to stay connected 24/7. While these conveniences can make life enjoyable in the moment, they can also lead us to forget the importance of our time. It's easy to lose hours, days, or even years consumed by things that don't truly fulfill us or bring lasting happiness. As we pour our time into temporary gratifications, the things that could bring genuine meaning and joy to our lives are often left waiting in the background. Every minute spent without intention is a minute we could have dedicated to growing, learning, or connecting with the people we love. In the grand scheme of things, time isn't just an element of the ticking clock, it's the very currency of life itself. The real value of time becomes even clearer when we think about the end of our lives. Imagine looking back and seeing the moments you wasted on trivial things, the missed opportunities, the dreams you never pursued. Regret is a heavy burden to carry, especially when it's too late to change anything. This thought alone should make us reconsider how we're spending our time. There's a saying that goes, "You only live once," but it's often misunderstood. Rather than being a justification for impulsive or reckless decisions, it's a reminder to live thoughtfully, with full awareness that every choice we make, every moment we spend, shapes the one life we have. Recognizing time's value inspires us to live each day with purpose, to make decisions that we won't look back on with regret. When we don't realize the importance of time, we end up living passively, letting life happen to us rather than actively shaping our own paths. This is why understanding the value of time isn't just about being more productive. It's about creating a life that's truly worth living. It's about being intentional with our days, about choosing actions and activities that align with our values and goals. When we learn to prioritize what really matters to us, we begin to live life with clarity and direction, rather than being swept along by whatever comes our way. Each day offers us a choice: will we spend our time on what's meaningful, or will we let it slip by on things that don't matter? Another key to understanding time's value is realizing how it connects us to our purpose. Each of us has unique dreams, goals, and passions, but often these get pushed aside as we get caught up in the rush of daily life. We tell ourselves, "I'll get to that later, there's always tomorrow," but tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and each day we put off our true desires is a day we may never get back. By viewing time as something precious, we start to see that the right time to pursue what we love isn't somewhere off in the future, it's right now. There's no better moment than the present to begin working toward our dreams and becoming the person we truly want to be. Moreover, seeing time as valuable encourages us to cultivate meaningful relationships. Time is the gift we give to others, and it's also a reflection of our priorities. Spending quality time with friends, family, and loved ones enriches our lives in ways that material wealth never could. When we recognize that our time is limited, we become more mindful about who we share it with and how we use it to build strong, lasting bonds. Relationships thrive on shared moments and experiences, and by consciously dedicating time to those we care about, we not only deepen our connections, but also enrich our own lives. Recognizing the importance of time also helps us to overcome procrastination. Procrastination is one of the biggest barriers to living a fulfilled life because it robs us of the present moment's potential. When we see time as precious, we're less likely to waste it on delay or indecision. We become more focused on taking action, knowing that each step we take today brings us closer to our goals. When we understand that time won't wait for us, we develop a stronger sense of urgency to act, to make the most of each day, and to ensure that our lives are in alignment with our ambitions. Finally, understanding the value of time gives us a sense of gratitude. Each moment we experience, each sunrise we see, each conversation we have, these are privileges. Not everyone gets the time we have, and even our own time is finite. By appreciating every moment as a gift, we cultivate a mindset of gratitude, which leads to greater happiness and fulfillment. When we are grateful for our time, we're less likely to waste it, and more likely to spend it in ways that uplift us and those around us. We begin to treat each day as a precious opportunity to create memories, make progress, and add value to our lives and the lives of others. In essence, understanding the true value of time transforms how we live. It encourages us to choose our actions carefully, to focus on what genuinely matters, and to live without regret. Time, after all, is the framework of our existence, the measure of our lives. And when we start seeing it as a priceless resource, we unlock the potential to live fully with purpose, passion, and intention. In our fast-paced world, distractions are nearly impossible to avoid. From smartphones to social media, and from endless streams of entertainment to constant notifications, our attention is pulled in 1,000 different directions every day. Identifying our distractions is essential if we want to take back control of our time and live intentionally. When we understand what pulls us away from what matters, we're better equipped to reclaim our focus and dedicate ourselves to pursuits that genuinely enrich our lives. Distractions have a unique way of disguising themselves as harmless or even necessary. Social media, for instance, connects us with friends and family and keeps us updated on the latest trends and news. Yet, despite these benefits, social media is one of the most pervasive distractions we face today. Many of us intend to spend just a few minutes scrolling, only to lose hours jumping from one post to the next. This habit not only takes time away from meaningful activities, but also impacts our mental and emotional well-being. Constant exposure to curated, idealized versions of others' lives can foster feelings of inadequacy, envy, or dissatisfaction with our own lives. Identifying social media as a distraction involves recognizing when it no longer serves its purpose of connection and information, but instead becomes a way of filling time without intention. Notifications are another major culprit in the realm of distractions. Our phones, computers, and even watches now have the power to interrupt us at any moment, demanding our attention with every beep, buzz, or pop-up. Research shows that it takes time for the brain to reorient after an interruption, so each notification, no matter how short the distraction, can derail our focus for several minutes. The cumulative effect is substantial over time. These interruptions chip away at our productivity, leaving us feeling scattered and mentally fatigued. One way to regain control is to limit notifications to only the essential ones or schedule specific times to check emails and messages. When we minimize the intrusions on our attention, we can focus more deeply on tasks that are important to us. Endless entertainment options also add to the list of distractions. In the past, entertainment was something we scheduled and looked forward to: a trip to the movies, a favorite weekly TV show. Today, with streaming platforms and endless content available at our fingertips, entertainment can take over as much time as we're willing to give it. Shows and movies are carefully designed to keep us hooked, to make us want just one more episode. And before we know it, hours have passed and we haven't accomplished anything meaningful. Identifying entertainment as a distraction doesn't mean we have to eliminate it completely. It means setting boundaries, knowing when to say enough, and choosing entertainment that truly adds value or brings joy rather than simply filling the silence. Workplace distractions are another area where we often lose valuable time. Even if we're physically at work, it's easy to find ourselves mentally elsewhere, checking our phones, engaging in casual conversations, or getting sidetracked by minor tasks that aren't truly important. Sometimes we even create distractions for ourselves as a way of avoiding more challenging work. For instance, we may busy ourselves with organizing our workspace or answering non-urgent emails instead of tackling the tasks that require focus and energy. Recognizing these patterns is crucial. By acknowledging the ways we distract ourselves in the workplace, we can start to structure our environment and habits to encourage deeper concentration. Some people find that setting specific work intervals or using techniques like the Pomodoro method helps maintain focus and reduce the impulse to look for distractions. Our inner thoughts and emotions can be another source of distraction that's easy to overlook. It's common to get caught up in thoughts about the past or worries about the future, which can pull us out of the present moment and impact our productivity and peace of mind. Identifying these thought patterns as distractions requires self-awareness. We have to notice when our mind is wandering, recognize that we're no longer focused on the task at hand, and gently bring ourselves back to the present. Practicing mindfulness can be an effective way to build this awareness. By learning to observe our thoughts without getting caught up in them, we can reduce the influence of internal distractions and stay focused on what's important. One of the most insidious distractions is the constant urge to be busy. Our society often glorifies busyness, equating it with productivity and success. But staying busy doesn't necessarily mean we're doing meaningful or impactful work. Sometimes we fill our schedules with tasks that don't contribute to our larger goals simply because we don't want to confront the discomfort of stillness or self-reflection. Identifying busyness as a distraction can be difficult, especially when it's socially reinforced. However, by taking a step back and examining which activities genuinely move us toward our goals and which are just fillers, we can reclaim our time and focus on what truly matters. Once we've identified our personal distractions, the next step is to create strategies to manage or eliminate them. This process requires intentionality and consistency. Distractions will always be present, but with conscious effort, we can build habits that help us minimize their impact. For example, setting designated focus hours where phones are turned off, or using website blockers to prevent access to distracting sites during work time, can help create an environment that supports concentration. Small changes like these may seem simple, but they can have a profound impact over time. Another important strategy is to regularly reflect on how we're spending our time. Taking a few minutes at the end of each day or week to evaluate where our attention went can reveal patterns we might not have noticed otherwise. Setting meaningful goals is essential for leading a life of purpose and direction. Goals give our lives a sense of focus, helping us prioritize what truly matters and align our daily actions with our long-term aspirations. Without clear, meaningful goals, we may find ourselves drifting through life, reacting to circumstances rather than actively shaping our own path. Meaningful goals help us identify what we genuinely want, guiding our efforts, time, and energy toward achieving a life that fulfills us. One of the most powerful aspects of setting goals is that it provides clarity. We often have ideas about what we want to achieve or areas we'd like to improve, but without clearly defined goals, those ideas remain vague and unformed. When we set a goal, we take a wish or a desire and turn it into something tangible, something we can measure and work toward. This clarity is essential because it helps us understand exactly what we want, which steps to take, and how to evaluate our progress. Imagine wanting to get healthier. That idea by itself is a good intention, but it's too broad to act on effectively. However, if you set a goal to exercise for 30 minutes, 5 days a week, that's a specific, actionable goal you can work toward. By defining the steps you need to take, you're much more likely to make real progress. Goals are also a powerful motivator. When we have a meaningful goal, especially one that aligns with our values and passions, it provides us with a reason to push through challenges and setbacks. Life inevitably brings obstacles, and it's easy to lose momentum or feel discouraged. But when our goal is something we genuinely care about, it acts as a compass, helping us stay on course, even when things get tough. This is why it's essential to set goals that are personally meaningful, rather than goals that others expect of us. A meaningful goal will resonate on a deeper level, energizing us to keep going even when we're faced with difficulties or feel tempted to give up. Another benefit of setting meaningful goals is that they help us prioritize our time. In today's world, distractions are constant, and it's easy to get sidetracked by things that don't genuinely matter. When we have clear goals, it becomes easier to make decisions about how we spend our time. If a goal is important to us, we'll be more inclined to focus on activities that support the goal and avoid distractions that pull us away from it. For example, if someone's goal is to write a book, they're more likely to prioritize writing time over activities that don't serve that purpose, like excessive social media scrolling or watching TV. Goals help us filter our choices, focusing on what will bring us closer to achieving what we truly want and reducing the time we spend on things that don't add value to our lives. Goals also help us build a sense of accomplishment. Each time we achieve a goal, no matter how small, it reinforces our belief in our own abilities and shows us that we're capable of growth and improvement. This feeling of accomplishment is incredibly rewarding and helps build confidence. With each goal we achieve, we become more willing to set and pursue new, perhaps even more ambitious goals. This creates a positive feedback loop. As we accomplish more, we gain confidence, which makes us more likely to take on new challenges and succeed. Over time, setting and achieving goals becomes a habit, empowering us to live a life where growth and self-improvement are constants. One of the reasons goals are so effective is that they give us a sense of direction and purpose. Purpose is something we all crave on some level, as it gives meaning to our lives and connects our actions to something greater. When we set meaningful goals, we're essentially choosing a path that feels purposeful. Each step we take toward our goal is a step toward fulfilling our purpose, and this gives our lives a sense of coherence and meaning. Purposeful goals are especially important because they encourage us to think about the legacy we want to leave and the impact we want to have. They push us to grow, to challenge ourselves, and to become better versions of ourselves. It's also worth noting that setting meaningful goals fosters resilience. Working towards something important is rarely easy, and the journey is often filled with challenges and setbacks. But when we have a clear goal, we're more likely to find the strength to overcome these obstacles. The reason behind our goal, the meaning we attach to it, can be a powerful motivator. For example, someone who sets a goal to help others, such as volunteering regularly or starting a nonprofit, will find meaning in the service itself. The challenges involved become less daunting because the end goal is so important to them. In this way, meaningful goals not only help us achieve specific outcomes, but also build our character, teaching us resilience, patience, and the value of perseverance. Furthermore, setting meaningful goals can enhance our well-being and overall satisfaction with life. Studies in psychology show that people who have a clear sense of purpose and direction tend to report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. When we set goals that resonate with our values and passions, we're engaging in activities that are deeply fulfilling, leading to a greater sense of joy and contentment. Working toward a meaningful goal gives us something to look forward to, and a reason to wake up each day with enthusiasm. This sense of engagement and purpose has a positive impact on our mental health, reducing feelings of aimlessness or stagnation. Setting meaningful goals also has a social dimension. Often our goals involve relationships, community, or contributing to the well-being of others. When we set goals that benefit not only ourselves but also those around us, we build stronger connections and create a sense of shared purpose. Whether it's improving a skill that we can use to help others, spending more time with loved ones, or working on a project that has a positive impact on the world, meaningful goals often foster a sense of community and connectedness. This, in turn, enriches our lives and gives us a sense of belonging and support. In essence, setting meaningful goals transforms how we live our lives. It shifts our focus from short-term pleasures to long-term fulfillment, helping us make intentional choices that reflect our values and aspirations. Goals give us clarity, motivation, and a sense of purpose, while also helping us prioritize, build resilience, and foster well-being. The act of setting and working toward meaningful goals allows us to take control of our lives, shaping our future in alignment with what we genuinely care about. Living with intention means taking charge of our lives by making conscious, purposeful decisions about how we spend our time, energy, and resources. In a world that is constantly pulling us in different directions, living with intention can be transformative. It shifts us from being passive participants in our own lives to becoming active architects of our future, empowering us to make decisions that align with our values and goals. This approach not only makes our lives more fulfilling, but also brings clarity and peace to our daily routines. By living intentionally, we ensure that our actions are not merely reactions to external circumstances, but are choices that bring us closer to the lives we truly want. At its core, intentional living requires a deep level of self-awareness. To live intentionally, we must understand what truly matters to us, our values, passions, and long-term aspirations. This self-awareness doesn't always come easily, as it requires us to take an honest look at our lives and ask ourselves tough questions about what fulfills us and what feels empty or superficial. But the clarity that comes from knowing ourselves is essential to living a life with purpose. Once we understand our priorities, we can start making decisions that align with those values, allowing us to let go of distractions and obligations that don't serve our personal growth or happiness. Intentional living also involves setting boundaries. In today's fast-paced world, demands on our time and attention seem endless. It's easy to feel pressured to say yes to every request or invitation, but this often leads to a scattered, stressful life. When we live with intention, we become selective about where we invest our time and energy. By setting clear boundaries, we can focus on what truly matters and reduce the time we spend on activities that drain us or take us off course. For example, if family is a core value, living intentionally might mean prioritizing time with loved ones over social obligations or work commitments that aren't essential. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, they're about preserving space for what genuinely enriches our lives. Another powerful aspect of intentional living is mindfulness. When we live with intention, we engage in mindfulness by staying present and fully engaged in whatever we're doing, whether it's a routine task or a big project. Mindfulness enhances our ability to make deliberate choices, as it helps us become aware of our thoughts and reactions in each moment. By staying present, we can avoid falling into the habit of doing things mindlessly or out of habit. Instead, we actively choose how we respond to situations and make decisions that align with our goals. Practicing mindfulness helps us become more connected to our daily experiences, making even mundane moments more meaningful and reducing stress by focusing on the here and now. Intentional living also encourages us to embrace simplicity. When we live with intention, we start to question what we really need in our lives and what we can let go of. Often we accumulate possessions, habits, and commitments that we don't truly value simply because they're familiar or because society tells us we should want them. However, when we choose to simplify our lives, we make room for what genuinely matters. For instance, many people find that by decluttering their homes or reducing the number of commitments they take on, they feel less overwhelmed and more in control of their lives. This simplicity allows us to direct our resources toward the things that bring us joy, fulfillment, and peace, rather than cluttering our lives with distractions. Living intentionally also cultivates resilience. Life will always present us with challenges, but when we live with purpose and intention, we approach these obstacles differently. Instead of feeling overwhelmed or lost, we have a foundation of meaning and values to fall back on. This sense of purpose provides us with the motivation and determination to navigate difficult times with courage and resolve. When faced with a setback, people who live intentionally are more likely to ask themselves how they can respond in a way that aligns with their values. They see challenges as opportunities to grow and reinforce their commitment to living a life that matters to them, even in adversity. This resilience becomes a key aspect of living a fulfilling and meaningful life. Intentional living requires regular self-reflection. It's not enough to set intentions once and forget about them. Living with purpose is an ongoing process. Regular self-reflection allows us to check in with ourselves, assess our progress, and make adjustments as needed. Life is dynamic, and our priorities may change over time. By taking the time to reflect, we can ensure that our actions continue to align with our evolving values and goals. Reflection helps us avoid getting stuck in routines that no longer serve us and enables us to recalibrate our lives in meaningful ways. Through reflection, we gain insights into our successes and setbacks, learn from our experiences, and keep growing toward the best version of ourselves. Intentional living also has a ripple effect. When we choose to live with purpose, we inspire others to do the same. Our friends, family, and even colleagues notice the difference in how we approach life. and our example encourages them to reflect on their own choices. Learning to say no is a vital skill that empowers us to take control of our lives, preserve our time, and protect our emotional and mental energy. In a society that often glorifies busyness and productivity, we may feel pressure to say yes to every request, opportunity, or social invitation that comes our way. This constant agreeing, however, can lead to burnout, stress, and a sense of being overwhelmed. While saying yes can open doors and build connections, saying no is equally important for building a balanced, fulfilling life. It allows us to make decisions aligned with our priorities and values, helping us stay focused on what truly matters. The fear of saying no often stems from a desire to please others or to avoid conflict. Many of us are conditioned to believe that saying yes makes us more likable or dependable. We may worry that saying no will disappoint others or cause tension in our relationships. While these feelings are understandable, constantly saying yes to avoid potential discomfort often results in compromising our well-being and neglecting our own needs. It's important to remember that saying no doesn't make us selfish or unkind. Instead, it demonstrates self-respect and the courage to prioritize our needs. When we say no with honesty and kindness, we show others that we value our time and boundaries, setting an example of self-care that encourages them to do the same. Saying no also helps us create space for our goals and dreams. Time is a limited resource, and every yes we give to one activity is a no to another. By accepting every request, we risk filling our days with tasks, events, or obligations that don't contribute to our personal growth or happiness. This can leave little time for pursuing what truly inspires us, whether it's a hobby, a career goal, or simply spending quality time with loved ones. Learning to say no empowers us to be selective about where we invest our time and energy, allowing us to focus on activities that are aligned with our purpose and ambitions. It's about making room in our lives for the things that truly bring us joy and fulfillment. Developing the skill to say no requires self-awareness. We must first recognize our priorities and values to make choices that support them. When we're clear about what matters most to us, it becomes easier to identify which requests or invitations align with our goals and which do not. For example, if someone values family time but is often asked to work late hours, saying no to extra work can be a way of honoring their commitment to family. This self-awareness acts as a guiding compass, helping us make decisions that bring us closer to the life we want to live. It's a way of protecting our energy and directing it toward meaningful pursuits. Learning to say no also teaches us to trust ourselves. Often we might second-guess our decision to decline something, fearing it may come off as rude or irresponsible. However, each time we say no in alignment with our values, we reinforce our ability to trust our own judgment. This trust is empowering. It allows us to make decisions without relying on external approval. We become more confident in setting boundaries that serve us, and we're less likely to feel guilty or unsure about standing by our choices. Trusting ourselves also helps us develop resilience as we become less influenced by the opinions or expectations of others, enabling us to stay true to our own path. Saying no with grace is another important part of this process. Learning to decline requests politely and assertively allows us to communicate our boundaries without offending others. One effective approach is to express gratitude before saying no, such as by saying, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'll have to decline." This approach shows appreciation while still honoring our own limits. Practicing this kind of gentle refusal allows us to maintain positive relationships, as it demonstrates respect for the other person's request without compromising our own needs. By communicating our boundaries with kindness and clarity, we can say no in a way that others are more likely to understand and respect. Learning to say no is also a form of self-care. By respecting our own limits, we avoid taking on too much, which can lead to stress, exhaustion, and even resentment. Many people feel obligated to help others or contribute to every project, even when they're already stretched thin. While helping others is admirable, we can't give our best if we're constantly running on empty. Saying no allows us to recharge and maintain our energy, so that when we do choose to say yes, we can do so wholeheartedly and with enthusiasm. This balance is essential for maintaining a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. Saying no also helps us avoid distractions. In today's world, opportunities to spend time on trivial or unproductive activities are abundant. From social media requests to casual commitments, distractions are everywhere. By learning to say no to these distractions, we become more focused on the tasks and goals that truly matter to us. This focus allows us to make meaningful progress in areas that align with our purpose, rather than scattering our energy on things that don't add value to our lives. When we're intentional about saying no to distractions, we create a clearer path to success and fulfillment. Another benefit of saying no is that it teaches us to set boundaries and communicate them effectively. Boundaries are essential for healthy relationships as they let others know our limits and expectations. By saying no when needed, we signal to others that we respect our own time and energy. This helps establish mutual respect as people come to understand that we value ourselves and our commitments. Setting boundaries can initially feel uncomfortable, especially if we're used to being accommodating, but over time, it helps create healthier, more balanced interactions. Boundaries protect our mental and emotional well-being and allow us to engage in relationships with authenticity and respect. Saying no is also an act of self-respect. When we say yes to things that drain us or take us away from our priorities, we send ourselves a message that our own needs aren't as important. In contrast, saying no demonstrates that we value ourselves and our goals. This self-respect builds over time, reinforcing our sense of worth and reminding us that we deserve to live in alignment with our values. When we respect ourselves, we also set a higher standard for how others treat us. People are more likely to respect our time and energy when they see that we do the same. In the end, learning to say no is about creating a life that reflects who we truly are. It's a way of taking control, reducing stress, and fostering an environment where we can thrive. Saying no empowers us to live intentionally, stay focused, and pursue our own path with confidence. It helps us avoid the pitfalls of overcommitment and ensures that our lives are filled with what genuinely matters. By embracing the power of no, we give ourselves the freedom to create a life that is balanced, fulfilling, and true to our deepest aspirations. Building strong relationships with the right people is essential for a fulfilling and successful life. The people we choose to surround ourselves with can significantly impact our mindset, emotions, and aspirations. They can lift us up during challenging times, push us to pursue our dreams, and encourage us to become the best versions of ourselves. But building meaningful relationships takes intention. It's not just about knowing people or having a large network, it's about connecting with those who genuinely support, understand, and inspire us. Cultivating these connections requires time, effort, and discernment, as well as the ability to recognize those who may not align with our values and goals. The journey toward building strong relationships starts with self-awareness. Understanding ourselves, our values, needs, and goals helps us identify the type of people we want in our lives. When we are clear about what matters to us, we can seek out individuals who share similar values or who bring qualities into our lives that we admire and respect. This self-awareness allows us to be intentional about the relationships we form, creating connections based on shared beliefs and mutual respect. It helps us focus on quality over quantity, choosing to invest in a few meaningful relationships rather than spreading ourselves thin across many superficial ones. Trust is a foundation of any strong relationship, and building trust takes time. It requires consistent actions that demonstrate honesty, reliability, and respect. Trust also involves vulnerability, being willing to open up, share our true selves, and let others see our strengths and weaknesses. This mutual vulnerability strengthens connections as it creates a safe space where both individuals feel valued and accepted for who they truly are. When we trust someone, we're more likely to share our thoughts, dreams, and fears, which deepens the relationship and allows it to grow. Trust is the anchor that holds relationships steady, even through life's inevitable ups and downs. Mutual support is another essential element of strong relationships. Support means being there for one another through both good times and bad, offering encouragement, comfort, and understanding. It's about showing up, even when it's inconvenient, and making the effort to be a source of strength for the other person. Support also means celebrating each other's successes without jealousy or competition, genuinely wanting the best for the other person. When we have people in our lives who support us, we feel more confident in facing challenges and pursuing our goals. Their belief in us can boost our own self-belief, helping us to strive for things we might not have otherwise attempted. In addition to support, inspiration is a valuable quality in relationships. The right people challenge us to think bigger, aim higher, and push beyond our comfort zones. They encourage us to pursue our passions, to take risks, and to grow in ways we may not have considered. Being around individuals who inspire us fuels our motivation and opens our minds to new possibilities. These people can become role models, demonstrating qualities or achievements we aspire to emulate. Inspiration from others helps us stay committed to our own personal growth, as we see firsthand the rewards of dedication and hard work. Strong relationships don't just make us feel good, they make us want to be better. Communication is another crucial component of strong relationships. Open, honest communication allows us to express our needs, boundaries, and concerns without fear of judgment or rejection. It also fosters understanding as we take the time to listen to others' perspectives and consider their feelings. Clear communication helps prevent misunderstandings and resolves conflicts in a healthy way. When both individuals feel comfortable communicating openly, the relationship becomes a space where they can work through any challenges that arise, rather than letting issues fester or create distance. Effective communication strengthens the bond between people, as it allows for the kind of honest dialogue that leads to growth and resolution. Boundaries are essential in maintaining healthy relationships, as they ensure that each person's needs and well-being are respected. Boundaries are about knowing where to draw the line, recognizing what we're comfortable with, and communicating those limits to others. When we set and respect boundaries, we prevent feelings of resentment or burnout, which can damage relationships over time. Healthy boundaries allow both individuals to maintain their sense of identity and independence without losing themselves in the relationship. Respecting boundaries also shows that we value the other person's space and autonomy, creating an environment of mutual respect and consideration. When relationships are built on strong boundaries, they are less likely to become toxic or codependent.